look, and listen.
Yes.
May pag-giveaways po tayo sa ating first episode
Yes.
hanggang sa end of October po.
Thank you for joining us here at our Halo Halo Foodcast in Finland. And normally we do the podcast with food, that's why we call it Foodcast. And we have this term Halo Halo, and I think you are familiar with it since you have visited Philippines.
I am. I love
Yes.
Halo Halo.
Yes, and it's a mix of everything and all ingredients in such a beautiful cup or bowl. And our podcast is all about a mix of different topics, especially the life here in Finland. And our first topic is really important. That's why we have you as our special.
I'm honored.
Yes, thank you so much for giving us time. And we will talk about your company, Silkier, and all the things that you do for recruiting healthcare professionals, especially Filipinos or everyone globally, to start their working life and here in Finland. Would you like to introduce yourself to our viewers?
Sure. So, hi everyone. My name is Simon. I've been working at Silkier now for, I think, soon 3 or 4 years even. Worked with them before that as an external, mostly within marketing, but then came on board and am now the head of recruitment for the company. A bit about me. Originally, I'm actually German, but I was born in Finland. However, I'm not a Finnish citizen, so I was born a German citizen in Finland. Pretty uncommon. But yeah, I grew up speaking Swedish actually. So my first language is German, and then my second is Swedish. And growing up in a household to immigrant parents, my mother from Germany and my father from Bulgaria. So very happy in this role I am now. My mom always says she wishes that she and my dad had the support that we're giving our recruits when they first moved to Finland. So yeah, feels like a good workplace for me and sort of the right place for me as well.
Oh, your parents must be so proud because you're
I hope
helping
so.
a lot. Yeah, a lot of immigrants.
Yes, I hope so.
And I've seen on your LinkedIn you've recently visited Philippines during your
Yes.
Finnish trip with your team. Is that with
Yes.
your team? Yes. Okay. Have you tried the halo halo?
I did, and I love it.
Do you like the ube?
Yes, I love ube. The first flavor I got these little pillows. They were like ube cream filled, like little cookies almost. They were the first taste. It was so weird. I had never tasted something like that, but it's so addictive. And I kept on every time we went out to eat, I tried to order something with ube in it, and it's so hard to find in Finland. I feel like
It is. But you can find in some Asian store, for example, in Ashanic Trading Oil. It's a Golden Crop Asian grocery store in Hakanieme. There's an ube ice cream, and it's so good.
Okay.
And it's hard to find.
The ube ice cream was my favorite. I used to eat these small, they were like rice papers filled with plantain and deep fried, and then with ube ice cream. Perfect.
It is amazing. Let's place yourself in the airport and trying to welcome the new recruits, and you have to pack a welcome box. What would be the 3 items that you would put inside a box to welcome newcomers in Finland?
Oh, I'd say a must-have in Finland for anyone would be like a daylight lamp. Since the winters are quite long and dark, I feel like having like this, even like a mini one in the corner of your kitchen or your office space or living room, it helps so much with just waking up in the morning. Since in the darkest periods, I live quite high up in the north or central Finland, so the sun doesn't really come up before like 11 a.m. 12 p.m. So it really helps a lot.
I need to get that one too.
Yeah, it's great. Really, it's worth it.
Okay.
And
other things?
Yeah, I'd probably also add like this thermo coffee cup. Because most workplaces, this also ties into working in Finland, they do have free coffee usually, but quite a lot of them actually want you to bring your own coffee cup. So everyone has like their own designated coffee cup in the office space that you also make sure to, wash yourself and put away yourself. So that's another thing. And of course, Finland, as the biggest consumer of coffee in the world, you will need a coffee cup.
That's true. Okay, so that's two things.
And the third thing, let me think, probably some kind of information booklet about maybe explaining Finnish culture, especially like the silence. I feel like many people arrive, they're so freaked out. They almost feel like they've done something wrong. When you're having a conversation with a Finn and suddenly it stops and they're just sitting there. And when you're not aware of like the culture of silence, it can really feel like, oh, now I did something to offend this person.
Yeah.
But it's just we just enjoy silence sometimes. It's not awkward for us or anything. So I think that's something you need to get used to as well.
Yeah, that's an amazing welcome box. It's like the culture shock preparation info
Exactly.
box. And then sun therapy lamp. And then the third one is the coffee thermos. And
yes,
that's actually like the entire Finnish culture in a box.
Pretty much.
That will help you survive Finland. And the awkwardness, yes, it's like almost the answer to my next question is that what is the kind of like Finnish quirks or Finnish habits that always surprises the newcomers when they arrived in Finland?
Yeah, it's definitely the silence is one thing, but I think it ties into this deeper kind of desire in Finns for personal space. And it's really not meant like disrespectful, like someone wants to keep their distance to you, but Finland is a relatively large country compared to the amount of people living here, so people are very used to the space. I remember when I was in the Philippines, like in Makati, walking around on the streets, like there's so many people, and when you stand in line, like people almost stand like attached to each other. So for Finns visiting the Philippines, really the culture shock is the other way around, because there's so many people. So that's definitely something that people will need to get used to when they move here, that personal space is a big thing and something that Finns want to have.
Yes, that's one of the things I also, one of the culture shock I experienced when I moved here. And even you can see it like everywhere in the bus stations or even the public transportation, like all the Finns would rather stand up or instead of sitting beside another person.
Exactly.
And it's a huge deal.
Exactly. I remember when I was in high school and we had our chemistry lessons, and our teacher was talking about how the electrons would attach to the different atoms in different ways. And he said you can think about it like a Finnish bus. Even though there's different rows in the bus, they will always fill up one person in one row, the next person in the next row, and so on. And like you said, you can really see it everywhere.
Yes, that is true. And it's good to know before coming here so people will be aware.
Yes.
Now we're gonna go to how Filipinos can move to Finland for work. And for our first question is that if there's Filipinos watching right now and they're interested to work in Finland, where should they start?
I'd say the best place to start for you if you're a Filipino would be to head to the Department of Migrant Work, the DMW website, and they have a section there called Approved Job Orders. So if you head to that section as the very first step, you can actually filter it by job site and choose Finland. And that way you will see every single agency in the Philippines that is already working with Finnish employers and Finnish recruitment agencies. So you even know who to reach out to. So I'd say that.
So they can avoid like scams.
Exactly, because unfortunately, in international recruitment, there is so many bad actors and so many people trying to take advantage of, people looking to improve their lives, to go abroad to work, and you really have to be careful. So that's why I think the Philippines is also such a popular country for international recruitment, because it is relatively secure.
What is the most common jobs or industries that Filipinos or Finland right now are looking for?
So historically speaking, the main sector, the biggest one, has for a long time. So now we're talking about non-gig work and like permanent positions.
Yeah.
Would be healthcare.
Mhm.
Currently, there's a bit of a slow because we saw the government implement some changes to staffing ratios and, of course, the cuts to their funding, the whole healthcare system. So right now there's a bit of a slow, but historically and also when we look to the future, healthcare will undoubtedly be the main sector that will be recruiting. Apart from healthcare, of course, healthcare isn't for everyone. Also, there's facility maintenance, so cleaning jobs regularly gets international recruitment ads for those. We have the hotel, the restaurant field, so chefs, for example, and the more growing field. So if you're maybe not right now looking to go, but in a few years, I'd say definitely look into the construction and the forestry field as well. And if we're talking seasonal, so I've talked to some people that actually choose to go for seasonal work first because they can sort of test the country. Like, is this the place that I really want to work in for several years? I recommend tourism, especially in Lapland. There's always a lot of tourism seasonal work, and there's a lot of berry picking. So all of the big berry companies in Finland will have international recruits come in to do the berry picking and the mushroom harvesting. But this has at least historically been very dominated actually by Thai international workers.
Do you think it is required to study the Finnish language first before applying to any jobs? Or is it okay to just know English and then learn the Finnish language when they arrived in Finland?
It really depends on what job you're looking to work in. So first of all, if I split the question up a bit, do you need to know Finnish before applying? Usually no. When you apply for a job in Finland, and let's say you're located in the Philippines, it will mostly be, or it will always be through an accredited agency. So that Filipino agency usually works with a Finnish agency like us, like Silkier. And when you join one of these programs, you're offered free language training. So the only requirement to join one of these recruitment programs is a general understanding of English, and of course the correct educational documents and some work experience. So in general, no, you don't need to know Finnish. But when you arrive in Finland, you do. So what some people don't know is Finland is one of those countries where the employer is actually by law allowed to decide that you need to have a certain language level to even be allowed to work there. So in healthcare, this is very mandatory, and even in some bilingual counties in Finland, you need to know both Finnish and Swedish. It's not enough with just Finnish. So healthcare, you need to know it once you arrive, but we will teach it to you if you sign up to our program, for example.
But I'm also interested about the next topics, because when I moved to Finland, I didn't need to have a working visa. And for Filipinos from the Philippines, when they go through these agencies, they have to get the working visa or the residence permit. Do they have to do it by themselves? Do they have to pay something, or the agency will do everything? And how does it work?
Kapag-apply pa namin dito sa partner. There you go. 6 years of work. Just so many minutes. Same pin. Wow. Big down. Nakalay beer. Nakalay. Different of wow. So, wow. Bola-bola. Thank you. I rejected
The agency cannot completely do it for you, since it is like a very personal thing and you will need to apply on your own. But if we start just how the process would work, you would sign your contract first of all. So you need to have either a contract or a job offer that is signed to actually apply for your work-based residence permit. And very important that when you apply, you make the distinction between the visa and the residence permit. The visa in Finland is only for short stays. So, for example, tourists would apply for a visa, while those applying for a longer stay on the basis of work or studies or family ties, apply for what we call a residence permit. It gives you a lot more rights than a visa, but also obligations. So you visit enterfinland.fi, which is the website where you would actually put in your application. You fill it out. It looks like any sort of visa application that you've done in the past, maybe. It will ask you about your job contract, your employer, the title that you will have at your work, all the details, but it will all be found from the contract that you've already signed. After you have applied, you will need to actually visit then either an embassy, so a Finnish embassy, or there's a company called VFS Global. Since Finland is a pretty small country, we don't have embassies in each country. So in the cases where there's no embassy, you might need to either visit the VFS office, or you can go to a neighboring country to the embassy there. You will go there, submit your biometrics, and then your application will go to your employer. So at that point, your employer in Finland will confirm, yes, this person really is coming, and they will do something called the supplementation of your terms of employment. So basically just confirming everything you've stated. And that's pretty much it. Then you just wait for your decision. And after about usually a month or two, you will have your residence permit card in hand. There's a small chance you will be interviewed by the embassy. It's very rare though. And if that happens to you, you don't have to worry. Just go there, tell them everything you know, make sure to look at your contract so you know what's stated in it as well. But yeah, that's about it. The whole process takes like 3 to 4 months usually.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. And during those 4 months, you can start learning Finnish.
Exactly. That's exactly what we do actually.
That's good. Now we're going to Silkier. Now, what is Silkier for all the listeners who are watching us right now, and for all the Filipinos who are interested? What is Silkier, and what does Silkier do for Filipinos?
Yes. So Silkier is a recruitment company at its very basis, but our services go much further than that. So as part of the recruitment, we also define that as the language training and everything else around, having to go from a country halfway across the world to Finland. We help you with every step in between. So your booking schedule, finding you an apartment in Finland, picking you up from the airport, making sure that there's actually basic furniture in your apartment, because most apartments in Finland are rented out empty. So once you arrive, the last thing you want to do after a 12-hour flight is head to IKEA to buy a bed and have to assemble it. So we make sure that you have the basics when you arrive. And yeah, even when you have to actually visit your workplace, we will be there with you. So you have someone familiar to you to meet your new boss. And finally, you also have access to our 24/7 helpline. So even if you have arrived, 2-3 years ago, there's a question, you can always reach out to us, and we'll do anything we can to help you with what you need help with.
This is amazing. I thought you were just doing like the recruitment, they come here and that's it, but you actually
no way.
find the place and the bed for them.
Yes.
That's over the top, and it's amazing.
Yes,
so
yes.
It makes them less anxious when coming to a really new place, and that's a really good way to start the new life.
Yes, and it takes a lot. Even though Filipinos have, I think, long had it in the culture to go abroad to work, and it still takes a lot, both emotionally and physically, to make a big move like this. So we really want to make sure that once they arrive, they feel as a part of our community, they feel safe, they always know what's going to happen next, until they're, we like to call it integrated, but until they feel like Finland is their home.
So how does Silkier help Filipinos or other internationals find opportunities here in Finland?
So Silkier is Finland's largest international recruitment company. We're actually the Nordic biggest, but we like to stick to Finland for now. But
Too humble for now.
exactly. But in 2022, we were acquired by Attendo, which is our parent company, who owns us nowadays. So we're part of them as well. And they are, of course, the Nordic's biggest provider of social and healthcare services. So since we are the biggest, naturally, the amount of opportunities you will have by joining our recruitment program will be the biggest. We work and have worked with almost every single well-being area in Finland. And of course, Attendo, who is the biggest private sector actor. Also Esperi Care, a very large actor. We also work with them. So that's pretty much how we do things. We connect the employer with the type of recruit, the type of professional that they're looking for. And of course, we never force anyone into anything, but if it's a match, if the employer likes a recruit and the recruit likes what the employer is offering, then it's signed, and then we take care of everything in between signing and arriving here.
What is the difference between Silkier and other recruitment agencies in Finland? Because I've heard some bad stories from other agencies, but I'm hearing there's a different side of Silkier. Even like just accepting the recruits when they arrive here, you already have these amenities waiting for them.
Yes.
Is there other things that makes you different from other agencies?
I'd say that the one thing that really sets us apart is that the company started as a family company, and that's still very much like the foundation that we work upon. The whole relationship that we have to our recruits, it's very personal, much more so than some of our competitors have. And we really see our recruits as part of our community, and I think that's very sad. Some, recruitment companies, like you said, after they've deployed them to Finland, it's over. It's like, never contact me again. That's not us at all. We're happy when people contact us. I have colleagues that have even went and hung out like friends with some recruits that have come here. They've made friendships with people, and it's a very different feel from some of the other actors. Then if we go to more like hands-on, like what are the actual like benefits, I'd say that the community in itself is a huge benefit. So in the past 13 years, we have deployed almost 4,000 Filipinos to start working in Finland.
Wow.
And exactly, yeah. And
That's a lot.
Yeah, and most of those have actually been recruited in the past 3 years. So we really ramped everything up, and in the past 3 years, we have had almost 3,000 arrivals.
You're having like 1,000 per year.
It's a huge operation, huge operation. And also when you think about the language training, we have more teachers employed than some Finnish schools do. When we had the most people in training, we had almost 40 teachers employed. But yeah, so the one benefit you will have anywhere where you go in Finland, there will be someone that has walked the same path as you, someone that has taken the same Silkier journey as you. So no matter where you are deployed in Finland, from Helsinki, all the way up to Rovaniemi, we have our recruits everywhere. And they're all eager to, make friends and meet people. And we have a closed group where everyone gets added who has been recruited through us, where they can meet each other and chat. So I think that's a huge advantage that I also wish more of our competitors would make more use of.
Honestly, that is so true. Like when they find not only like a legit company, but a company they can trust that will take care of them.
Exactly.
The moment they arrive here, and they already have this something to look forward to, because you've already built a community that is like kind of like waiting to welcome them. It's
exactly
such a huge bonus point, besides having like a new life here, they're gonna have new friends already waiting. So
yes,
that's really good. Thank you so much for
this. For sure. I have to add one thing. One thing that really sets us apart is our family recruitment. So since we always try to, improve the way that recruitment is done. One big pain point that we, see over again, and when we talk to our recruits, it's that the normal day life of so many Filipino families is either one parent or even both parents working abroad, and apart from their children, who often stay, with their grandparents back in the Philippines. So this is something that we wanted to change. So we, together with a well-being area in Finland called Kainu, we started a family recruitment program so that we could recruit a whole family with their children together to make the move to Finland, and place them in these communities that were struggling with shrinking. There's just not enough people moving into those parts of Finland. So this way we both help the communities to have, more life again. We help the schools have more pupils to actually have someone in the school for the teachers to teach. And finally, we help the families, most importantly, to be able to actually live together as a family again and build their life in Finland. So that's something that you will not find with our competitors at all.
Yeah, you're also giving relocation to the entire family members.
Yes.
That's crazy. Do you do this for all children? Does the kids have to have like an age limit? Does it also apply to spouses? And what will happen to the spouses when they arrived in Finland?
So Finland, of course, has some limitations as what it by law can define as family members. So it would only be your spouse or your live-in partner, as well as your children under the age of 18. So if you have children over 18, they cannot come this way, but instead you would have to do the normal family reunification. With the family recruitment program, we make sure that both parents have a job upon arrival in Finland, because there's income limits that dictate how many people you can sponsor, pretty much.
That's true.
So that's why we want to make sure that when we bring the families, both have work, so that there's, unless they have 10 children, of course, but there's not really a limit on having to, we don't want to have a situation where parents have to choose which of my children can I bring to Finland. That would be horrible.
So there's a chance, for example, the man of the family find a job through Silkier, and then they have 2 kids under age 18, and the spouse doesn't have a job yet. You try to find a job for her.
They will always, if they come through the family recruitment program with us, they will always have a job. So we work together with the local municipalities to make sure that either one of them will then work as a nurse or a caregiver, and the other part, the community that they're going into, will have a job waiting for them. It can be as a multi-service worker, it can be as a chef or a mechanic. It really depends on what that person's background is.
I didn't know this about Silkier, so it was amazing. It is nice to know about this part. That's great. Oh my God. And I've seen in your website and in your LinkedIn and Silkier some success stories about Filipinos who have now become nurses in Finland. Would you like to share, like, if you have one specific success story that you can share to our listeners right now? Yeah.
Sure. So I think one really good success story would be Grell. Grell was part of our very first batch, actually, back in 2012. She started the language training, and then in 2013 she made the move to Finland and started her work. We were invited by her to come visit her at her home in Finland and to see how she was doing, since it had been 10 years since she arrived here. And she's thriving. She's fluent in Finnish. She bought a house. She owns a car. She brought her family here. She really somehow unified the Finnish culture with the Filipino in a way that you only start doing after you've been somewhere for quite long. Something that I've seen from my own family. Mixing German, Bulgarian traditions with the Finnish ones. Yeah. And she's made it pretty much. It's the Finnish dream. She made it we have an interview with her on our YouTube page as well, and you can hear there she speaks about it's not, you know, it's not BGC, it's not Makati, it's not high-rise buildings, but it's the simple life. It's the quietness, the peace that you have in Finland, and it's a different kind of life from the Philippines. And yeah, she's really happy here, and she really made it.
Oh my god, I want to meet her and maybe have her as a guest in our podcast.
Yeah, for sure, you should.
That would be so amazing. I would like that. And thank you for sharing her story.
Of course.
How should they find these opportunities in Silkier? Like, how do they connect with you or reach out?
So the best way to stay up to date with the opportunities that we have popping up would be to follow our Facebook page. That's sort of our main
Facebook page.
Yes.
Okay.
If you want to reach out, ask some questions, you can always send us a DM directly on Facebook, and our community managers will answer you as fast as they can. Other than that, for like longer questions or more difficult questions, we also have a contact form on our website, which is workinfinland.silkroad.fi. So if you fill that one in, then someone will, of course, answer you through email as well. And lastly, of course, we have LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find our company page on LinkedIn. However, I have to warn people, as people think sometimes connecting with me will make them more likely to get accepted into the program. No, you can always connect with me. You can ask me questions, but you will still have to apply like everyone else and jump through the same hoops and requirements that we have.
Yep, I just checking right now your Facebook page in Silkier. So currently you have 166,000 followers. Is this the official Facebook page?
Yes.
Okay, that's amazing. So we will share that so they will avoid those fake pages in case they pop up.
Great, yeah.
Who knows? The scammers are always listening, and they always try to find a way to get these people desperately trying to a job. Yeah. Is there any advice you want to give our listeners right now? There's a lot of Filipinos who are dreaming to move to Finland to find a job and also bring their family here. What advice would you like to give them if they're currently like still thinking about it or currently learning the language? Is there any advice you would like to share? Make
sure, if your dream is working in Finland, and you want to live here, you don't just want to come here to work, but you really want to build your life up in Finland, you will need to put work into learning the language. Whether that is Finnish or Swedish, it will be required for you to sort of see long-term success in Finland. You don't need to be fluent when you arrive. Finnish people are very accepting in you actually speaking just basic Finnish. If they see that you're putting effort into trying to learn it, they're going to be really happy. So just make sure that you dare to speak the language once you arrive. You don't go through language training in these recruitment programs just to be deployed. Of course, you do it for yourself, for your future. That's a big thing. Then also, I would say, if you're looking to have the best chances, if you want to increase your chances of being selected for one of these placements, get some work experience in your field. If you're applying fresh out of university, you will only really have a chance of being selected if the demand is enormous and employers are really looking to recruit, you know, anyone they can. But in times where demand is lower, you should aim when you apply to have at least 2 years of experience within the field. So those are probably the main tips I can give you. Other than that, always make sure that the recruitment company you're interacting with is legit. Read reviews. Of course, every recruitment company will at some point do something wrong, especially if it's a younger one, they're not so experienced. But really, if it seems sketchy, stay away. Never send any money to any recruitment company, so it should be free, first of all. If they're asking you to send money, don't. Look for someone else. That's a scam.
That's a red flag.
Yes, it's completely illegal in the EU to do this. So I'm not sure how it is when you're going to the Middle East. Maybe then it's legal, but at least for getting recruited to Finland, you should not be paying for your language training or paying some form of recruitment fee to be placed or something. So those are big red flags and things to watch out for.
Thank you so much. And for my last question, just to end our interview, what do you think about Filipinos in general and Filipinos as a worker?
If I start with Filipinos in general,
Yeah.
I think you are some of the most courteous, friendly, and hardworking people I have ever met.
Wow.
It's I don't have anything negative at all to say about Filipinos. I've never ever had a bad interaction with anyone from the Philippines. So really hats off, and I feel like your culture, little story from when I was in the Philippines, we were walking around in Makati. I think we had dinner or something, and there was a grandma who was trying to cross the road, and a young Filipino man, he stepped out onto the road and he stopped the traffic for this woman to be able to get over because she couldn't walk so well anymore. You will never, like that. Where else will you see that? I was shocked. It was amazing.
Not in Finland.
I would have given him an award if I had one.
Oh.
So, things like this that are so ingrained in your culture, the respect, especially for, the elderly, that's so ingrained. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And onto the other question, as colleagues, I work with a lot of Filipinos. We have a lot of Filipinos working with us at Silkier. Shout out to my colleague Mitzi, for example.
Yeah.
Same goes for that, amazing people, hardworking, all around great. The one thing maybe that I could tell Filipinos when they come to Finland is you don't have to be so formal. In Finland, you speak to people with their first name. You don't have to call them, Mr. Alish or ma'am
Mr.
or sir.
Simon.
Exactly. Just the first name is enough, and I think that's something that we already try to hammer home with how we build our brand. We never refer to me as, Mr. something or Sir something. It's just Simon. I'm just Simon. No matter if you're the CEO or you're an intern at us, you're always just who you are. You're your first name. That's it. So yeah, just remember you don't have to be as courteous in Finland as you do in the Philippines. That's about it.
It's part of our culture and our
It
bringing,
is, yeah.
like especially respecting the elders. We always have this term like calling them ate or kuya, even though we're not related, just a sign of respect. But you don't see that here in Finland, and it's one of the culture shock as well. Even I still don't know how to call my mother-in-law because my husband sometimes just call her by her name. So,
Yeah.
and I don't want to do that. It kind of like something in my blood just itches if I don't call her like in a different term as a respect.
Yeah.
But that's just us.
I understand it. I the culture, so Germany, where my mother's side comes from, it's much more like formal there. You do call people by like sir or ma'am and mister, and but yeah, Finland really has let go of that. But I think it's a strength as well, especially when we see Filipino nurses interact with the older generations. They quite like it when you call them mister and ma'am.
Yes.
So both a strength and something to remember that it's not so common in Finland.
Yes, I agree. Thank you so much, Mr. Simon. Simon, for giving us this time. I've learned so much, especially about Silkier and the process of coming and working here in Finland. And I know that a lot of our listeners and people who are watching right now, especially Filipinos in the Philippines, will have so much inspiration and a lot of knowledge, and will be made aware before they come here and avoid those scams, especially those agencies who try to ask money before they come here, and or those agencies who just leave them hanging the moment they come here and they have to like find other jobs. And it does happen, and it's really sad. So we're really thankful that Silkier exists with your community and the way you operate with the heart. it's much more closer to how Filipinos also want to live life. So
That's
thank
great
you
to hear.
so much. Is
Thank you
there
so much for having me.
any last message that you want to say?
Last message.
Yeah.
Just to you, Diana, thank you so much for having me. So happy to see this podcast. I think it'll help a lot of Filipinos and internationals in general out that are looking
Yeah.
to live and work in Finland. And yeah, really big thank you also to everyone who applies to Silkier, because you quite often, you thank us, but it should be us thanking you. You're coming here, you're working in jobs where we have, huge gaps where we need people. So really, really big thank you to all of you for choosing Finland to come and work here. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. So that's it. That's the end of our interview.
All right.
Stop, look, and listen.
Yes.
May pag-giveaways po tayo sa ating first episode
Yes.
hanggang sa end of October po.
Yes.
So, ang draw natin is end of October. You will have a round-trip ticket to the Philippines by Turkish Airlines.
Yes, shout out Turkish Airlines. Maraming salamat po. Teşekkür ederim Turkish Airlines. So, yun.
Shukran.
Hindi. Teşekkür ederim.
iba pala.
Yeah.
Teşekkür ederim. Damn! Father issues, unboxing. So, nagbayad ako. Na-scam ako.
Bata ka pa na. Diana. Kung ano yun,
beer,
Trebe.
ba't hindi tayo kumuha ng
Kalamansi na lang.
Ano ba yan? Kalamansi.
Buang lagi to si Diana. Buang lagi ka.